everyone and welcome back. It's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and today I have the Sam's Bead box to open up with you all for February 2023. As we can see, the theme is called Purple Majesty, and it's hard to believe, but this month marks the fact that Sam's Bead box is now 2 years old, so they're going to be going into their third year. And it's been wonderful to be a part of these unboxings since they started, and I have to say that they have remained consistent, if not better, month over month. And I continue to look forward to these packages because they really do a great job in sourcing these contents. I did hear there's going to be a couple updates as they go into their third year, and they're going to be sending out an email about those updates. So just be sure to look for that if you're a subscriber. But from what I understand, the price of the box is going to be going from $45 to $49 per month. And as we all know, everything's gotten more pricey, including the manufacturing process, shipping, supplies, you name it. So that's just going to ensure that they can put out a quality box for us, just like we're used to. And then the other update that I'm aware of, which is great news, is they are going to be shipping now to the UK as well through their regular site, which means they will ship worldwide. So you can check out the details about shipping and any other details surrounding that process. And if you would like to try out Sam's Bead box, I do have a coupon code, which is Orchid, ORCHID, and that will save you $5 off your first box. So I'll leave the link for Sam's Bead box right down below, as well as that coupon code. And right now, let's go ahead and get into this and see what's inside. So inside we have our insert on the first page. It talks about the inspiration behind the contents and the theme of this box, which centers around purple in particular. Also talks a little bit about some of the things that we're about to see. And it says toward the bottom, they are going to be including this month a selection of 2-hole beads, which is something new and different. So that's very exciting. Also, be sure to go to joinsamsbeadshop.com if you'd like text reminders about their live weekly sales and classes that they have on a regular basis, which also sometimes feature items from these boxes. And then, of course, on our second page, we have the list of everything that we're about to take a look at, 26 different items with a listed retail value of $98. And if you are a lover of Czech glass beads in particular, you'll probably really enjoy Sam's Bead box if you haven't already seen one of these. They're full of these high quality shapes in both standard, say, Drux, fire polish rounds, but also a lot of different pressed glass shapes with unique colors and finishes. You'll also find some gemstones, strands, and items, sometimes pendants, and typically some high quality metallic components in each box. So here's a little preview of what we are about to dive into. We have so many different contents that we're going to take a look at up close. You can already see there's tons of amethyst colored Czech glass showing up in this selection. So I can't wait to get into it so we can look at it together. I just need to get organized. Then we'll go down the list and take a look at everything one at a time. We are in for another beautiful lineup from Sam's Bead box in a very elegant purple palette. We're going to start with bag number 1, which contains 2 pieces of the Czech glass Royal Crown beads in jet black AB. It says they are grade B for some chipping. Wow, those are so cool. I have never seen these before. They really look like they are vintage, and because of the rougher nature of the top and the bottom, a little bit of chipping doesn't bother me with these since they already look like they are supposed to be more aged or vintage. You can see they have the rougher appearance, which really allows that smooth jet black glass with the AB coating, giving us those flashes of metallic violets, aquas, blues, to really be set off in a beautiful contrast. Here's a look at the hole placement and that really cool shape and design. Our second item is a bag containing a 15.5-inch strand of imitation pearls in light purple. So we have this soft lavender color, which brings in some of the lighter purple for the palette that we have going on. And these pearls are in great shape. They do feel like they have that nacre coating or that actual pearl material used to coat the outside, and they have a realistic pearl-like weight to them as well. Our next selection is a bag containing 15 pieces of the Czech glass faceted oval beads in Hematite. So here you can see those really dark glass beads, which seem to have a jet black opaque glass as the base and sort of a silvery transparent coating over the top, which really makes these look like hematite, and they've got such a shimmer to them, which is brought out even more with the faceting that shows up on the outside of these ovals. And then we have a bag containing the Czech glass dimpled cubes in the royal purple mix, with 20 grams or approximately 90 pieces inside. So here we have quite a few of these 5mm cube-shaped beads with that indentation on each face of the cubes. And it looks like there are, I think, 3 or 4 different colors or combinations here. We have a crystal and silver variety, as well as some transparent deep amethyst. I think there's also some hematite or similar, and some opaque jet black. So these definitely bring in a lot of the colors for this palette and are sort of like getting 4 different items all in one. Up next, the bag containing 2 pieces of Czech glass Pear Brios in purple bronze luster. And I wanted to hold one of these up for you to the light so you could see what that looks like with its sort of rose gold luster that shows up on the top of these purplish blue, very shiny and smooth pear-shaped drops with that hole that goes across the top. And the fact that we get 2 of these, I think they'd be a great option to incorporate in a pair of earrings. Our next selection contains some of the diamond duos, the 2-hole Czech glass variety in the vitriol/silver mix, and there's about 30 pieces in the bag. So these are the 5 by 8mm size and very similar to the Czech 2-hole gem duo beads. I do have some tutorials for these on my channel, so if you are looking for a project, be sure to check back through my tutorial archives. These could also work in the backlit gem duo bracelet that I made, which do feature some of these backlit varieties just in the gem duo shape, which again are pretty similar. But this variety, you can see that on the back it's a silver metallic, and we're getting this reflective rainbow of colors, mainly pinks and greens, a little bit of gold showing up through that crystal glass. And looking closely at these, of course, you can see how they have a hole going through either side of that diamond shape. Next up, we have a bag containing about 9 grams of the 3 by 6mm Czech Preciosa peanut beads in lavender, amethyst luster, silver lined. Here's a closer look at these, which remind me of like 2 8-0 seed beads that have been smushed together, but with a single hole going through the center. They're obviously called the peanut beads because of their shape. They have the more compressed central area and rounded sides on either end. These bring in some more deeper purple to the palette, and you can see that little bit of silver lining that they have, which add a touch of an inner glow coming from within that dark purple glass. Our next bag contains several items, including the donut focal, some smooth rounds, and also some 2-hole squares in the hematite collection. So here's this 31mm donut focal. We have one piece of this included, and this would be something great to design around as a focal pendant with that smooth shape, sort of disc-like, and that opening there, which you can do so many different things with, including hanging something there in the opening in the center, or using this as a lariat style component where you could loop something through the opening, or simply string a necklace to the top of this, just as it is, and even embellish the bottom. Up next is a 5-piece set of the Hematite in the 11.8 to be specific millimeter round size. These are something that would coordinate very well with that pendant and also look great with some of that purple added in. And then here are the two square-shaped hematite beads with the two holes. These are a 10mm size and kind of a puffed square, and another variety of two-hole shaped beads to work with, which you could use in stringing projects as well, not necessarily heavy bead woven items, but you can simply use this to separate multi-strand items just into maybe a couple strands even, and use something like this, and even the diamond duo is as simple as that. Now this next item I'm really excited to take out. It says it is a vintage Swarovski chandelier crystal link. It's pretty substantial and has a good weight to it at 22 by 62.5 millimeters. And here is that link. Oh my goodness, this is elegant. It's got the hole located on either side. And it says it was made in the 90s. There could be some slight imperfections, but overall it looks gorgeous. Let's see, we have the flat back, and then you can see the shape there as it gets pointed towards the top where those sides meet right in the middle. Really cool piece. Up next is a bag containing a strand of the melon beads in the Royal Glam mix. These are the 8mm size with 24 pieces included. So we have another fun mix with a lot of neutrals, some of the opaque silver, and also some crystal clear. But then we have some of these melon beads that are clear with that vibrant violet purple wash, which mainly shows up in those ribbed areas, but adds a nice pop of purple to those ribbed rounds. Our next selection brings in some more stones with these amethyst chips that are approximately 4 to 10 millimeters in size, and there's 20 grams inside the bag. I love those with their light icy purple tones overall, and all those various shapes and sizes, but still similar within that size range. Also, some having a little bit more concentration of that purple color than others, and these giving us some more stone material to add into the mix of glass beads, but also that lighter shade to balance out some of those Czech glass amethyst beads, which have that deeper purple with a more pinkish undertone. And next we have 25 pieces of Czech glass leaves in lavender amethyst. I went ahead and took those off the strand. I love the veining detail that these have. They're almost like an etched or matte detail where that shows up instead of a wash settling in there. And they also have a smooth, glossy appearance with that little bit of movement, the leaf that comes to a point and goes off slightly in one direction. And they also have a hole that is running through the top or the broader part of the leaf, which should allow these to hang down more like a drop shape. And then we have 2 pieces of the Czech glass elephants in jet black with a silver wash. So we have these really fun 3-dimensional elephant-shaped beads with the hole that runs up and down through there, and the silver wash bringing out a lot of those details and contrasting with the jet black glass underneath. Again, two of these could make a great option for incorporating in a pair of earrings, and they give us another fun and interesting Czech glass shape to play around with. In selection 16, we have a bag containing some of the flat pear Brios in silver/jet black with 20 pieces inside. Love that reversible combination of the metallic silver on one side, the jet black on the other, in that flat pear shape, which would hang down from the hole that goes through that more narrow portion, that rounded, larger base hanging down. And you could decide which side you want to face the front if you're using these in a necklace, perhaps, or even make your design reversible if that works out. And then we have a strand of the fire polish faceted rounds in silver/crystal in the 8mm size. And that's a classic combination of the metallic silver and the crystal clear, which of course goes really well with the purple and black, also with many other items though. And there's approximately 20 pieces on this particular length. Half the bead has the silver metallic coating, and then the other half allows that crystal clear glass to show through, which also has some additional shine with the silver that comes through the back. Up next is a bag of 20 pieces of the Czech glass crown beads in dark lavender amethyst with the 8mm round size. These are also referred to as the rosebud shape because you can see how they have that look on either side where the hole is located. Really fun shape with a lot of texture, which is something you could replace instead of maybe just a smooth round if you use something like this to give your piece a little extra interest. And you can see they have that deeper purple shade and candy-like appearance. Our 19th selection is a bag containing about 10 pieces of the Sapphire Purple Bronze Saturn beads. It's not the most adorable little tiny baby strand. So we have the Saturn shaped beads. I think you can see why they're called that, with that sapphire colored glass that we have showing up underneath that purple bronze finish, which you can see concentrated more on either end of the beads, with just a little bit more of that blue showing up in the center of the band, which is also faceted beautifully. Here's another look at this particular shape. The areas that get a little bit smaller on either end are also a bit smoother without the addition of the faceting. Up next, we have another two-hole variety with the sunflower glass beads in the hematite gold combination with 8 pieces in the bag. So these sunflowers, I believe, are one of the first few types of two-hole beads that I started working with, and I haven't seen them in quite some time. They have the 2 holes there that run through the bead parallel, and then the sunflower design that is located on one side, with the other side being flat and smooth. They also have that ribbed texture all the way around the outside, which allows that golden wash to really settle into those areas and also the center of that flower-like shape. Next, we have the 25-piece set of 8mm Czech 3 faceted rounds. So here they are held up to the light, that way you can see that variation of the color without me holding those in my hand at first. I'm seeing some hints of light pink and also some of that amethyst purple color showing up. In what are basically round beads, they just have those 3 sides cut into the outside of the glass. And that allows for a little bit of a change in the surface of the round, so we see how the light plays off the different angles. And sometimes you see these with additional finish that shows up in the areas that haven't been cut, which looks really interesting too. And then we have a 50-piece strand containing the 4mm Czech fire polish faceted rounds and tanzanite iris. Those are beautiful and sparkly with that more medium purple color with a bluish undertone, and the iris bringing in that rainbow of colors that we see in those reflective metallics. This also giving us a smaller size of the fire polish to incorporate into finished pieces with our other selections. The variety of shapes and sizes here, and with Sam's bead box, as usual, giving us lots of things to work into finished pieces together, because we're not getting all the same shape or all the same size. And as you can see, the quantities here are very generous as well. But we're not done yet. We have a few more things to take a look at, including the 2x5mm Czech saucer beads in the hematite and purple bronze luster mix with approximately 120 pieces included. Very glossy selection, and you can see that combination of those two different varieties, like it said, some of them being the hematite with that solid, very dark, almost black metallic appearance, and then our other ones with that purple cast that also have that slightly bronze-like metallic luster. These are really tiny, one-hole disc-shaped beads, which would work really well for spacers, just adding a sliver in between some of the larger shapes that we've seen. And they're another one of those consistent Czech glass shapes that you could also incorporate into bead weaving projects. Here is our last bag of beads, which contains 8 pieces of the Czech glass table cut ovals in jet black Picasso. I'm a huge fan of the table cut varieties in general, of course, because I love how the finishes frame out those more smooth and a lot of times opaque colors of glass. In these you can see that Picasso finish, which adds that stone-like detail in the different shades of gray, a little bit of olive green. Around the outside of that oval shape, the hole is located there going up and down the center of those beads. There is so much beauty here, and I have to say these are kind of like Orchid and Opal colors, so I have to like this variety, right? But I would anyway. This is really gorgeous. We wrap things up though with a bag containing some Tierra cast metallic components, including 2 of the fleur-de-lis charms in antique pewter and a clover key charm also in antique pewter. As usual, Tierra cast making some great components with quality in mind and the details that show up on both sides of these pieces. And that wraps it up for the February 2023 Sam's Bead Box. Congratulations to them on 2 full years. That is no small accomplishment, especially during the times we've been in, with so many challenges potentially out there thrown in the way of getting these gorgeous boxes put together with all different materials and getting them out to everybody on time. They have yet again created a gorgeous palette for us to work with, which is different from the other packages that we've already received from them in the past. We're always getting something different, which makes it a fun monthly surprise and something exciting to look forward to. So I highly recommend the Sam's bead boxes. Like I said, especially if you are really into Czech glass and higher quality glass, stone, and metallic components in general. They do a great job not skimping on that. There is so much here to work with. I know there can be so many gorgeous pieces made from the contents that we see here. I will do my best to create something, and it's certainly my desire to share in the next finished jewelry update, so we'll see what happens with that. I know I enjoyed these contents, but feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of what you see here, or if you have a favorite item or anything else you'd like to say. If you haven't already, also be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you back. And also go ahead and give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and feel free to share it with your other beading friends. As a reminder, you can use the coupon code ORCHID to save $5 off your first box if you'd like to try out Sam's Bead Box. Also, by the way, there's Sam's Bead shop where you can find lots of similar types of items, including all sorts of Czech glass and gemstone materials way on and beyond what you see popping up in these subscription boxes. So definitely take a look at the online store that accompanies this subscription and find a link to this monthly box right down below the video. But that's all I have for now. I hope to see you all again real soon. I also hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. And as always, happy beading.